Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and I'm again back with a chapter application of biotechnology. So today we will be completing the rest of the topics which are pending. So in this application of biotechnology, today we will be learning about the topic transgenic animals. Okay, so what are transgenic animals basically? These are those animals in which the DNA has been manipulated, or we have gone ahead and changed any sequence of base pairs, or we have changed a part of gene in that particular DNA, which leads to the formation of transgenic animals. Now, when we talk about transgenic animals, there are varieties of transgenic animals which were introduced. For example, like rats, rabbits, pigs, sheep, cows, and fish that has been produced by manipulating their DNA. We have changed a few sequences of genes, or you can say the base pairs. So out of which 95% were the existing transgenic animals were mice. Now, our question is, why are these animals being produced? Why do we need such kind of animals? Now, to understand this, there are few pointers which we will be discussing regarding why do we need this transgenic animals. Okay, so let us try and explore some of the common reasons. You can see over here, this is a transgenic animal which has been shown. So this is a cow. And why are we calling this as a transgenic cow? The reason being we have gone ahead and changed few sequence. For example, if this is the DNA, and this whole structure is a DNA, and we have changed this sequence of gene over here and we have replaced it. Since we have made certain changes in the DNA, so this particular animal becomes a transgenic animal, or you can say it is a transgenic cow, right? So let's discuss some of the reason why we have been so much eager to bring about this transgenic animal to the society. Right. So let's proceed here. So first of all, the transgenic animals are required for studying normal physiology and development. So if we get such kind of animals, we will be able to study certain kinds of genes. For example, over here, we can see that growth factor, such as insulin-like growth factor gene, can be studied in case we have a transgenic animal. We can introduce this gene in this transgenic animal and try to see how this gene is going to react at a certain point of time, right? How this is going to have an effect, how it is forming, or how it is bringing about and change in the normal functioning of the body. So these things has to be studied, and for that we need a transgenic animals. Okay, so the study of complex factors can be studied. For example, insulin-like growth factor, this is one of the, you can say, a factor which is present in humans, which can be studied with the help of transgenic animals. All right. Now, we also need to understand one more point here. By introducing gene from other species that alters the formation of this factor and study the biological effects that results. So we have to be very much understandable in the things like we how these genes are able to express itself. We have to understand bit by bit how in every stage they are bringing about changes. For example, I'll that one example I have quoted here as creating a transgenic animal. We have this particular cow over here. So we have taken GOI, gene of interest here. So gene of choice is manipulated and prepared in the lab. We have taken the gene of interest, and then what we have done is we have introduced that gene of interest into the egg of this particular animal. And now what happens is this egg has been introduced into another cow, which is we will call it as a surrogate cow. So the egg is implanted into the surrogate, and this particular cow is going to give you a transgenic cow, right? So we will go ahead and try to find out the various kinds of genes and its modifications and how it is reacting in the normal physiology can be studied under this animal. So now you can understand that transgenic animals are so important, right? So let's understand. So this is first point which I would like to highlight, that what is the need of a transgenic animal? Transgenic animal is required to study the normal physiology and development, right? Next. So now we need to understand the study of various diseases. Okay. So there are various diseases which we had to study. And how do we study that? with the help of these transgenic animals. Now let's see how they are helping us on the way. So many transgenic animals are designed to increase our understanding of how genes contribute to the development of disease. Now, there are certain genes which will be responsible. We can study that, and how we can introduce, you can say, a gene which can cure a particular disease. So all those studies can be done with the help of these transgenic animals. So these are specially made to serve as a model for human disease. Okay. So these investigation for the new treatments can be only be made possible because of the transgenic animal. So there are a few examples over here which we have cited is cancer, cystic fibrosis, rheumatoid arthritis, and Alzheimer's disease. These are some of the diseases which has an impact, and there are few transgenic models which we have developed to study their impact and study how these genes can be treated, right? So one of the examples you can see over here is your cystic fibrosis, right? In the cystic fibrosis, your nasal passage and your breathing tract is being blocked with the help of thick mucus, due to which there will be less exchange of gases. And you have another disease, rheumatoid arthritis, where you will find that there is immense pain in the joints, and there is frequent pain, and there could be a swelling as well at certain joints. So these are rheumatoid arthritis. And Alzheimer's and dementia, where you can see that a lot of neurons have been damaged, nerve cells are damaged, due to which a person can lose memory or unable to retain information. Okay. So all these were possibly studied because of these transgenic animals. So now you can understand how important these animals to us is, right? So next, we will proceed to the next part. Let's see. So now when we talk about transgenic animals, how are they, what are the other benefits we can derive from there is the biological products. Various biological products can be derived from these transgenic animals. Medicine required to treat human diseases. This, I can give you an example of insulin over here, how insulin, artificial insulin was made, you taking the genes of humans, and E. coli was able to produce that. So we can talk about over here as an example of E. coli, Escherichia coli producing human insulin, right? So human insulin was being produced with the help of E. coli, right? So this is, you can say that it's a use, or we can use other animals as well for that. So medicines required to treat certain human diseases can contain biological products. Okay. So many medicines may have biological products, and such products can be quite expensive, and we don't know whether it is going to provide any immunological response or not. For that, we need transgenic animal. Transgenic animal that produce useful biological products can be treated by introducing a portion of DNA or gene, as I already told you, that various transgenic animals would be able to produce useful biological products, and that can be done by introducing DNA or a gene which codes for a particular product. For example, we have human protein, which is alpha-1 antitrypsin. Okay, this is one of the gene, human protein, which is used to treat emphysema, basically. Okay, so emphysema has a major role. Okay, emphysema is basically a various kind of disease you can see. And in emphysema, we can see that basically this alpha-1 antitrypsin gene is very, very useful in treating various lung disease. Okay, so this is also very, very important in understanding the fact that these alpha-1 antitrypsin would be leading to various kinds of problems, right? So one of them is chronic obstruction pulmonary disease, which is COPD, and liver disease, which is liver cirrhosis. All these are the diseases. I'll just write it here. You can just make a note here as COPD, which is not there in your NCERT, but I'm mentioning over here is, this is chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. All right. And liver disease, or you can say liver cirrhosis, which I've already mentioned in point number 2. This disease, this is very, very important, and deficiency is a genetically inherited disease. It is definitely a genetically inherited disease, which will lead to various other problems in your body. So we have to find out certain solutions, and how can we do it? By studying this particular gene with the help of a transgenic animal, right? And several other attempts are also being made, like for the disease like PKU, phenylketonuria, cystic fibrosis. All these diseases are very, very crucial, okay? And these diseases are quite uh, expensive to treat. However, it can be treated as well once we got to know. So when we talk about PKU, it is also an inherited disorder that increases the level of the substance called phenylalanine. Phenylalanine is the amount of it's a amino acid which will increase in your body, okay, and the level will increase in the blood. That will cause PKU. All right. So it will, if not treated, then it will lead to brain damage, and intellectual disabilities could be a problem. Behavioral symptoms are the issues, and seizures. There are a lot of seizures which you will be facing from, right? So these are the problems. Cystic fibrosis. I told you there is accumulation of mucus in the airways. So all these issues are there, which can study under the transgenic animals, right? And there is also a protein known as human protein enriched milk, which is 24.5 grams per liter, is produced by a cow known as rosy cow. We have been successfully able to incorporate human gene, or which was able to produce human milk protein with the help of a rosy cow. So now this rosy cow has the nutrition of human milk protein, which is quite incredible. So the milk contained the human alpha lactalbumin. This is very, very important. Human alpha lactalbumin, which was nutritionally more balanced product for human babies than natural cow milk. So it has more nutrition than a normal or a natural cow milk. So a transgenic cow was able to give us this human rich protein milk in the form of a transgenic cow. So you can understand how important it is. So which gene is responsible? Human alpha lactalbumin. This gene was responsible for producing human milk protein, which we are getting from this rosy cow. Okay, so I have already told you about alpha-1 antitrypsin. That is also used to treat emphysema. Okay, and this gene is very, very important. Otherwise, it will lead to various lung tissue damage. Okay, deficiency may cause liver cirrhosis. All these issues can arise. So now you understand how important the transgenic animals are, right? So next, we will proceed to the next part of this topic. Now, transgenic animal vaccine safety, which we already know during the corona time, what happened was before the release of the vaccine, it needs to be tested, and clinical trials are required, clinical testings are required, and post which it is released into the market. So clinical trial is important. Clinical trial, then comes the clinical testing. Okay. Testing is required, and finally it will be released. Okay, finally it will be released for human use. Okay, finally it will be released for human use. So vaccine safeties are also very, very important. The reason being, it can cause a lot of immunological response, and it may cause various kinds of allergic reactions, right? So transgenic mice are being developed for the use and testing the safety of vaccines before they are used on the humans. Transgenic mice are being used to test safety of the polio vaccines. Just like previously, polio vaccines were tested on the transgenic mice before it was given to the small babies. Now, if successful and found to be reliable, they could replace the use of monkey to test the safety of batches of vaccine. So if they are now during the corona time, also the successful implementation of these vaccines were done on the monkey, and we could check this out so that we can release it for the human consumption. So now we know that how important the vaccines are, right? So this is also very, very important in case of vaccine safety. Now, again, the point which comes up over here is the chemical safety testing. Again, we need to check that these chemicals should not be causing any kind of chemical reactions within the body. The procedure is the same as that used for testing toxicity of the drug, just like we check the toxicity of the drug before giving to the humans or introducing into the humans. Transgenic animals are made that carry gene and make them more sensitive to toxic substance and than the non-toxic animals. So this is also very, very important. Transgenic animals are deliberately allowed to carry the gene and make them more sensitive to the toxic substance, and then we see how they are reacting. They are then exposed to toxic substance and the effect is studied. That's what we are saying. We cannot do this to the humans. This can only be done to the transgenic animal. The toxicity testing is such animals will allow us to obtain results in lesser time. So you can see that we are using these animals to check, to find out whether it is going to be whether it is going to be a problem causing in humans or not. So, but again, we are not doing it at a very severe level. So we have to check that. And for that, there are certain guidelines which we need to follow because we cannot keep on exploiting these animals up to certain extent. There should be certain guidelines to be followed. So chemical safety testings we have done. So these are the applications you can see that which is required. Now, as I told you that lot of animals are being used here. Transgenic animals are used, but we have to follow certain regulations because you know that humans can go beyond the reach and try to find out so many other factors, right? So we have to keep certain rules and regulations. Manipulation of living organism by human race cannot go like this. It has to be regulated in certain rules. So some ethical standards are required to evaluate the morality of the human activity. There should be certain you can say standards. Okay. So going beyond the morality of such issues, biological significance of such things is also important. Now we have to go by certain rules. Genetic modification of organism can have unpredictable result. We don't know what kind of results it can be. It can be used as a bio warfare. We have to have certain guidelines. Otherwise, all the countries or different countries are going to have a different kind of organism and that can be threat to the other country, right? So when such organisms are introduced into the ecosystem, it should not hamper the balance within the ecosystem because we are living in a natural ecosystem. We cannot go ahead and make it imbalanced. So for that, we need to follow certain guidelines, right? So there are various, definitely there are benefits. We have done so many testings and all, but there should be certain guidelines, right? So ethical issues are being taken care by one of the Indian government authority, which is going to check this, which is GEAC, Genetic Engineering Approval Committee. This committee is going to look after the validation of the GM, that is genetically modified crops or genetically modified organism, and also they are looking after the safety of introducing GM organism for public service. So these are the 2 points which needs to be highlighted here, that GM is going to look after, GEAC is going to look after regarding the validity of the GM crops and also safety of introducing GM organism for public service. So what are the safety hazards, or are they going to be safe into the environment or not for these? Modifications, usage of living organism for public services, okay, like food and medicine, has also created problem with patent. Now, when we are developing foods and medicines using these, now the problem is there are a lot of patenting is an issue. Now the question is, what is patenting? Patenting is nothing but if somebody has developed a kind of thing, they will try that nobody else can use it. So that is patent. Okay, patent granted. Patent granted is authority to use the product, and authorization, and so that nobody else can use it. Authority to use that product, they have got the authorization, and this patency also means that nobody else can use it. Nobody else can use it. Now this patency, there is an incident which we will be studying here to analyze the fact that how this concept has come up. The same thing happened in India as well, right? So let's understand this with the example. So now you understand GEAC, what is it going to look after about the validation of the GM research as well as the safety for introducing the GM organism for public services, right? So now let's move on to the next part. So now we need to understand that there was a lot of anger among the public regarding all these things. So they were very much worried about it. They granted patent for products and technologies that make use of genetic material like plants and other biological resources. Now, before you try to patent it, you need to make sure that all these things are done by you. You have not taken from somewhere. If you are taking help from somewhere, you need to give them credits. You need to monetize them with the products which you are using it. If you're not doing it, that means that will create an ethical issue. The same thing happened in India. You know that rice is an important food grain, and among the all Asian countries, India is the largest producer of about 20 lakh varieties of rich rice. Okay. We are the richest producer of rice, and one of the best quality rice is the basmati rice, which is only produced in India, which is having 27 different varieties, which is documented variety. We don't know about the undocumented one also, which has been in large number as well. So what happened was there is an incident over here, which we need to understand that there is a US company in 1997 in America. They tried to patent the basmati rice, okay, by through the US Patent Trademark Office. Okay, they tried to patent it, but basmati rice was grown in India. They have just developed a new variety by crossing the Indian basmati with semi-dwarf. Now that was the question. Now the problem is, if they are using this Indian basmati, they need to give credit. They need to give credit to the Indian people from where they have taken it. Okay. Now, if they are not giving credit and they are trying to patent it, that means this, they have taken it from themselves. They have done it all, everything, all on their own. And now the Indians won't be able to sell it or try to go ahead and do their own work. Now, what was later done is this particular American company wanted to patent it, but they could not, because they need to give credit. They need to go ahead and monetize them. They need to ask permission because they are using this Indian basmati for their cross, which they have developed it into a new variety. How did this new variety came up? Actually, right? So the basmati has actually been derived from the Indian farmers variety. And what about the credit to the Indian variety? Okay, so that has to be sorted. For that, these ethical rules have been formulated. The type of basmati rice which we could see here is 21 basmati rice samples are there, registered one if you see, golden Sela basmati rice, Pusa basmati rice, super kernel basmati rice, creamy Sela basmati rice. So there are different varieties, right? You must have checked so like India Gate basmati rice. So there have beautiful aroma and a texture, right? So now what happened is, due to all these problems and all, we had to get into the problems of getting into ethical issues, right? Now what happened is, the patent extend to functional equivalent, implying that other people selling basmati rice could be restricted by the patent. If they are trying to patent it, that means Indian people will not be able to sell this basmati now, because they are patented. They are saying they're ours, but this cannot be done. So several attempts has also been made to patent the use. For example, there are so many products. You know that India is rich in biodiversity. So we have so many herbal products like neem, turmeric. They have been tweaked at various levels to make different medicinal products. Okay. Various medicinal products have been developed by these. But what about the credit and what about the monetary benefits which needs to be given for the originality, from the origination, because they have originated from somewhere, you have to give them the credit. So now what happened is, from here, we got to know about that if we are not vigilant and we do not immediately counter this patent application, other countries and individuals may encash on our rich legacy. They may take our rich legacy. So we have to stop it. We may not be able to do anything about it So for these reasons, ethical issues or ethical rules were formulated. So let's see what are the other things we need to study under this. So these are the ethical issues. Now we need to understand. So these you know that turmeric and neem has been used for various applications of medicinal value. They have a lot of medicinal value as such. Now there comes the biopiracy, which is the last part of the topic. So what is biopiracy? Okay, so it is referred to as bioresource by multinational companies and other organizations without proper authorization from the countries and people concerned without compensatory payment. So they won't be able to use any of the bioresource. Bioresource is basically that, for example, like turmeric, neem, this basmati, all these are bioresource. They are rich. India is rich in biodiversity. Let's take an example of India here. So multinational company, if they want to use it, they have to give them credit. They have to take the authorization. They have to give them monetary benefits. So most of the industrialized nations are rich financially, but they are poor in biodiversity and traditional knowledge. But being India as a country, we are definitely blessed to have a good biodiversity, and traditional knowledge is good anyways. Okay. So for this, they have to give us the credit. Traditional knowledge related to bioresources can be exploited to develop modern application. So many products have been developed from these, but what about the credit? Okay. So they are getting a lot of benefits, but they are not providing any credit. So for that, biopiracy was developed and they have to give the credit. That was the problem. Okay. So biopiracy is the last part. Now let's understand. So in India, we have Indian Parliament who has recently passed the second amendment of Indian Patent Bill that takes care of all this. They take such issues into consideration, including patent term, emergency provision, and research and developmental initiative. All these are taken care by this second amendment of Indian Patent Bill. And the nations are developing laws to prevent unauthorized exploitation of their bioresource and traditional knowledge. So now, after this biopiracy, nobody else can exploit the bioresource and traditional knowledge of any other country. So trespassing will not be allowed against indigenous life. Indigenous lives are nothing but grown in your own country. Okay. That is your own things which can be grown. Okay. So these are the things which needs to be taken care. So biopiracy was analyzed under 167th Law Commission, the Patent Amendment Bill 1998. So these were taken care by the government. So I hope this is clear. So now we have a quiz time. Let's go through the quiz time now. Okay, the question says, genetic engineering has been successfully used for producing transgenic mice. Option A, transgenic mice for testing safety of polio vaccine before the use in humans. Option B, it should be option B over here. Transgenic models are studying new treatments for the certain cardiac disease. Transgenic cow, Rosie, which produces high-fat milk for making ghee. And option D, animals like bulls for the farm work as they are superpowered. The correct answer is transgenic mice for testing safety of polio vaccines before use in humans. Second question is, an improved variety of transgenic basmati rice. It's a NEET 2010 question. Option A does not require chemical fertilizers and growth hormone, gives high yield and is rich in vitamin A. Option C, it is completely resistant to all insect pests and disease of paddy, give high yield but no characteristic aroma. Okay, so the correct answer to it would be gives high yield and is rich in vitamin A. So this is a question from your RNA interference. What is an antisense technology? Option A cell displaying a foreign antigen used for synthesis of antigen. Production of, option B, production of somaclonal variant in tissue culture. Option C, when a piece of RNA is a complementary in sequence and is used to stop expressions of specific gene. Option D, RNA polymerase producing DNA. So your answer should be option C, when a piece of RNA that is complementary to the sequence is used to stop expression of a specific gene. Okay, so with this, we end this chapter. Please understand the fact that we have just gone through the NCERT, and I hope you have understood the fact. We will meet again in the next session. Thank you.